Good evening, everyone. If my voice is audible, type S in the chat box, or you can use any emoji. Am I audible? Hello. Good evening, everyone. If my voice is audible, type S in the chat box so that I can proceed. Hello. Hello. So I hope you are able to hear my voice. Okay. I have checked over here. So we are getting the voice output. Okay. So once again, to get it confirmed, so please let me know if my voice is audible so that we can continue with the session. Or if you are not able to hear me, so let me know in the chat box, or else you can drop the message in the Telegram or the WhatsApp number. Yeah, thanks. So with that, we will start with today's session. So as usual, like we are in the YouTube live. Okay, so in this session, if you want to participate, make sure you are going to subscribe to the channel so that you can ask any questions through the chat, or else you can drop the questions in the WhatsApp or in the Telegram, okay, through which you have enrolled for the session. Okay. So once again, I welcome you all for today's workshop on from Django to Fast API. Is Python web development still a smart choice? Okay, in today's session, we are going to see with 2025 and 2026 is about to come. Okay, is learning Python for web development, is it a smart choice or not? Okay, so that is what we are going to have a session over here in this workshop. Okay, so as usual, first some instructions. As this is in the online session, if you are not able to hear me, or like if you feel like the video has been stuck, you can identify that by in the right bottom corner you can see a timer will be running. If the timer is stopped, okay, or if it is not matching your actual time in your mobile phone or in the system, that means you are lagging behind or you are not in the live session. Okay, if that is the case, you people can drop message in the chat box or else to our WhatsApp number. Okay, so that's important. And whenever there's questions, like you people can let us know whether you're audible or like any questions in the chat box, or you can use the emojis also. So with that, we will see today what are the things we are going to learn. First, we will go through web technology. What all the web technologies have been there? Then Python web frameworks. Okay, different Python web frameworks. We will go through that. Then content management system. And with 2025 and 2026, is it worth learning Python web framework? Okay. Finally, QA session. In this session, in between, we will be sharing you the attendance link which you can fill to get the certificate. So now we will start with today's instructor, myself, Arun Kumar, and I have a teaching experience of 13 plus years with 8 plus years of Python development and product development. I'm also a training head at Skilldesk and a technical advisor at Digital Attain. My strong subjects are Python, IoT, penetration testing, and embedded system. And I like training the students to build their new concept for their curriculum projects and hobbies. We have developed 10 plus industrial products under Skilldesk with collaborations with other companies. And to make IoT learning easier, we have developed a Pico Disk version 1.1. Okay, and we are conducting a 1 month embedded system and IoT course session for 499 in the online. Okay, from November 17th. If anyone is interested, you can ping to us. So with that, we will start with today's session first with website. Okay, when we see website, most of them will be having an idea that okay, whenever you want to learn any website, the basic things which we need to know is HTML, then CSS, then JavaScript. Okay, so if you want to be a web developer, these three technologies are compulsory that you should know. Okay, one is HTML syntax, okay, then CSS, then JavaScript. Okay, so these are some bare bone of the web application or any web page. Okay, so when we say web page, that page will consist of the content will say in the form of HTML, it will be in the form of HTML, then the coloring, the style, the position, everything, okay, on that web page will be because of the CSS, okay, the style sheet, cascading style sheet, then the functionality on the client side. Okay, client side means on your mobile phone or on the laptop, whenever you are accessing any website, okay, you will be the client. On the client side, the content, okay, whether any functionality, if it has to happen, it is through JavaScript. Okay, it is through JavaScript. See, someone like few of them are messaging you are not able to chat in the chat box. Okay, so if you want to chat, you should subscribe to the channel. Okay, only who has subscribed, they will have the option, because we don't want it to be abused by someone else who will be coming over there and simply adding some message. Okay, after subscribing, you may need to wait for 1 minute to send the messages in the chat box. Hope I hope that instruction is heard. Okay. So if anyone wants to chat in the live, you have to subscribe to the channel. Okay. There itself, next to that, you will have an option over the subscribe button. You can click on that. Then you will have the option to chat with us. Okay. After subscribing, you may need to wait 1 minute, I think. Okay. Then you can chat with us. Now, this is the bare bone of any website. Okay, if you take any website, these three are important. Okay, if only these three are important, means then what is the need of going through Python, other things? Okay, because these three is not enough because web technology has been improvised. Okay, we have different versions of web, we have different versions of web. When we say different versions, it starts with web 1.0. Okay, where if you want to develop any web application with web 1.0, it's enough to have HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, these three itself is enough. Okay, without JavaScript also you can create web 1.0 applications. Then if you want, then the next version is web 2.0. If you need to develop any web 2.0 applications, this is where other programming languages comes into picture. Okay, other programming languages comes into picture when you want to develop web 2.0 type of applications. Then we have web 3.0 also. Okay, we'll see what is the difference between this web 2.0 and 3.0. Most of like when you take more than 80% of the 80 to 90% of the web applications you are using are of web 2.0. Okay, then what is this web 3.0, whether Python is suitable or not, that we will discuss. First we will go with web 1.0. As we said, it is a simple static website. It is a simple static website. Static website means, okay, it will have the content where you can view it. Okay, you will not be able to contribute, only you can view. That is, client will be having the option only to view the website or the web content. Okay, you will not be able to contribute. That means you will not be able to alter the content of that unless and until you are the owner of that website. And you will not be able to share your details, anything, like you will not be able to access other than the things which have been shown on that page. Okay, so those type of web, we call it as web 1.0. Only the owner of the website will be having the option to add or edit the details. Okay, and you won't be having any functionality in that. Those type of websites we come under web 1.0 version, and we call those websites as static websites. Okay, they are static websites. Then comes web 2.0. These websites are the one which we call as dynamic websites. This we call as dynamic websites. Okay, this, in this version, client can also contribute to the web application or website. Okay, that means you will have the option to share your knowledge or add some content to a particular website, like that. For example, if you take Facebook, Twitter, like that, okay, you can create account, like you are the client, you are using that application, you are not the owner of the application or that website. Okay, so for example, Facebook and Instagram, if you take, the owner is like Meta. Okay, but you can create an account in that. By creating an account, you can contribute to that particular web application. Okay, you can add the post, you can uh, create some changes, you can share the details. Okay, so this is possible with web 2.0. This is possible with web 2.0. If you take web 1.0, that is not possible. Only the owner can add any details. Okay, only that is client can only view the content. Okay, whereas in the web 2.0 client can also contribute to the website. Okay, so that is with the web 2.0. If client has to contribute, like you need to create an account in the Facebook, you need to add some details, everything means, then the picture of database comes into picture. This is where database is required. For web 1.0, you no need any database. Okay, because directly you can add the pages in the form of HTML, then you can have the CSS and JavaScript file linked to that, and you can publish it to the world. Okay, but if you want to go with web 2.0, you want to make others to contribute or go through some functionalities, okay, all those type of things, then to store those details, if you need to be given authentication with some account, okay, your email id to be stored or phone number, everything, then comes the importance of database. That is database we've been introduced in web 2.0. It's for web 2.0. Okay, so this is where we had database. Now when it comes with database, so database has its own syntax. Database has its own syntax. Okay, for SQL, like we call it as SQL language, right? Okay, SQL query language, it's an programming language used to communicate with the database. Then apart from HTML, CSS, JavaScript, now comes into picture that you should learn SQL or NoSQL, that is SQL languages you need to learn. Then comes into picture like HTML, CSS and JavaScript are client side. They are all client side, and we have the server now, that is database. When you want access to the database, we don't want anyone to modify others database data section. Only the concerned person can modify their own data, not others. Like for example, you can modify your Facebook post, not your friends, through your account. Okay, there will be an authentication, authorization, everything which separates your post is accessible by you, where you can modify, you can alter anything. Okay, similarly your friend can post or modify. Okay, those options are available to your friend account. Okay, not your account. So these functionalities and all has to be given, means then there is a need of a programming language to run in the server. There's a need of a programming language to run in the server. Okay, so from the client side, whenever a request has been sent, okay, to process that and to send it back, then from this server, like connecting to the database, okay, uh, checking with the authentication, authorization, the functionalities, everything, we write some code and we use it to run it in the server, that we use it to call it as backend. That we use it to call it as backend. This is where backend programming languages are introduced. Okay, for the static website it was HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that's it. But when it comes for database integration, everything, we required backend. Okay, so those backend program, you can write it in your that is your wish language, whichever language you are preferred with, like it can be PHP, Java, okay, C sharp, .NET, it can be anything. Similarly we had Python, we had Python. Okay, so because of this option, many applications have been developed in the web, like it can be shopping cart, Amazon, Flipkart, Shopify, all this type of applications if you take, okay, they are possible with web 2.0. Okay, then if you take now, okay, you people are watching this live content through an application, some of them may be watching it in the browser. Okay, so all these things are possible with web 2.0. Okay, with sending the mails, storing those data, having the cloud data storage. Okay, all these things are possible through web 2.0. and the web applications like accessing the documents, editing it, okay, everything is in web 2.0. Then next comes web 3.0. So can anyone state like web 3.0 what it may be? We saw web 1.0, which is a static website, okay. Then we saw like web 2.0, which is a dynamic website where we had database, then the backend programming language which checks the logic, everything, and interfaces, okay, along with the front end. Okay. Then almost most of the applications which we have used like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, now the YouTube, Zoom, anything which you take, they are all with Web 2.0. Okay. Any idea with Web 3.0? Okay. So have anyone heard like Bitcoin? Have you heard of Bitcoins? Cryptocurrencies, Bitcoins? Yes. Okay. Using AI and IoT, it comes under Web 2.0 itself. Web 2.0 itself is enough for IoT applications and all. Okay. Now, in the Web 3.0, the main difference in the Web 3.0 and 2.0 we'll discuss now. Okay. So, if you have heard like Bitcoins or cryptocurrencies, those wallets and all, they all work with Web 3.0. They all work with Web 3.0. The main difference with Web 2.0 and Web 3.0 is, okay, Web 2.0, if I say Web 2.0 and the introduction of Web 3.0 is because of our data privacy. Okay, it is mainly introduced to overcome the hold of the single company on your data. Say we'll take an example now. Okay, so most of the time you could have been seen with BNS recently in India. Okay, Bharatiya Nyaya Samiti was been introduced. Previously it was been IPC, okay, Indian Penal Code. Now it has been with BNS. Okay, so previously digital evidences were been the secondary evidences. Now digital evidences can also be considered as an primary evidence with BNS. Okay, so the digital evidence means when you take now, there's a huge question like whether the digital evidence should be taken as a primary evidence, because through AI you can create the images, the fake images which looks similar to the original one, the videos it can be, okay, all these things are possible. Okay. And one more thing is like, for example, you could have been seen sometimes to track some issues, okay, or some culprits, police they use it to go through these social media platforms. Okay, for example, you have posted some post in the Facebook, okay, someone else has posted, not you, someone else has posted a post in the Facebook or Instagram, something like that. Okay, and due to that there was an unrest in the society or something has been happened. Okay, then they want to identify that particular person, means they get the help of that particular company, okay, with respect to whichever the application it is. To them they will serve the notice and they will be giving the information. And same as it is the emails, many a times you can see whenever you pay for someone, okay, you will have the digital evidence. Nowadays you will get a message in the WhatsApp, or you may get some email with the receipt, everything. Now the important question for you people is, which company you people trust, like company like whether it is Meta or X or Google, Okay, like that, which company you people trust? Any company like you people trust by sharing your data to them? I think most of them will be using True Color also. Any company name, like you can drop it over here that you trust? Google, Meta, X platform it can be, or it can be Pinterest, anything. Amazon, Flipkart. Okay, we'll take up an example, a simple example now. Say, for example, you have sent an email to your friend, okay, stating to your friend, or it can be to some company, anything. Okay, now when it has to go to your friend, like person 1 to person 2, directly the email will not go to their device, whether it can be mobile phone or system, anything. Okay, the email will be sent to the particular database of the service provider. If it is your Gmail, then it will go to the Google's database. There it will be stored. From there, it will be sent to the person two. Okay. Now, whatever you are going to send the mail, that copy is stored in this database. And who has access to this database? Google has the access. Okay. Tomorrow, Google can say we are shutting down our server, and whatever the emails have been there, everything is gone. And if they say suddenly, like, you can have only one Gmail account, and for that Gmail account every month you need to pay some 500 rupees. Okay, so then the data you may transfer it to something else, all those type of things happens. Okay, I'll give an example later with the Microsoft. Okay, so how like they take your data and they use it for other purpose. Okay, now with the, like, if Google, or if it is of your Outlook with Microsoft, anything, they have the access to your email. They have the access to your email. If they want, they can modify. Say, for example, after 1 month, something like that, your email can be modified from that company. Okay, you have some collaboration going on with some other company, and your data are being shared, and you're using Gmail, assume, with AI. Gmail may be doing the same project. They wanted to know what are the things you people have been discussing. They can easily view that. Okay, or if they want to modify, they can modify it. Okay, so this happens because this database is purely centralized. It's purely centralized means it is controlled by one company. Okay, if it is your Gmail and all, it is with Google, then Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp and all, it is with Meta. Okay, so they have the access to your data. If they want, they can delete it, they can modify it. Okay, they can show you guilty, they can get you out of that part, anything. It is possible because it is centralized, and no one can question it. Okay, it is not possible to question. You cannot say, like, you cannot prove your innocence stating that you have not sent that mail itself. Okay, because it is in that application and you have that account access. Who else is also having? That platform provider is also having that account access. They can easily state you have done, you will not be able to prove it. Okay, so this is centralized one. And if they want, tomorrow they can delete all your emails, and they can say you don't have any emails, or they can block it. You will not have the access to that data. You will not have access to that data. To overcome this, web 3.0 was introduced, where the database are decentralized. The databases are decentralized. Okay, so the decentralization of the database happens with web 3.0 technology. Okay, and they have been mainly used in this Bitcoin, everything. That is the reason you could have been seen the Bitcoin or like cryptocurrencies and all, if you take, they are they don't come under the banks. Okay, it's a separate entity and it is an open source one, but still many of them takes that because it is a decentralized, it is not centralized. Okay, and anyone can view your transaction, it is possible, and others cannot fake that you have not done that particular part or they are not shared the details anything. Okay, so it is not possible to fake it. Okay, whereas in the centralized one you have the option easily they can do, but in the decentralized it's not possible. Okay, and you will have control over your data also. Okay, so that's what this is, decentralized, and it is possible with blockchain technology. This is possible with blockchain technology. Okay, so until now the Python frameworks which we have heard is like, okay, some Python web frameworks which we have gone through is for full stack web development and micro frameworks. Okay. So can anyone name, like until now, is this difference understood between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0? See, some of them are watching the past recording, I think. Okay. So please make sure, like in the right bottom corner, you can see the timer, and that timer and your mobile or the desktop timing, it should match. Okay, because few have been answering for the previous questions which we have been asked. Okay, so sometimes it happens when you move from your application to some other application, and if you come back you will be watching from that where you have stopped. Okay, you may have spent some 2 or 3 minutes in the other application and you would have come back due to call or something, phone call or message, something like that. Okay, so in that case you will not be in the live session. Make sure you are in the live session, not the previously recorded one which you have been watching. Okay, if that's the case, forward the video or move the timeline to the live session. Okay, so any doubts with Web 2.0 and Web 3.0? Any questions? If you have questions, you can drop the question. If not, you can say no so that we can continue. Yeah. So now we will see through some Python web frameworks. Okay, these web frameworks are differentiated with like full stack framework and micro frameworks. Okay, so in that full stack framework, we'll start from the full stack framework. Django, most of them would have been heard about this. Okay, because this was a student's internship program. Later it became so popular, it is being used by many top companies, whether it can be Instagram, NASA, like those type of companies and all. Okay, Mozilla, they use Django for their web application development. Okay, Instagram was developed on Django itself. Okay, and it is test and it is been tested in the field, and it takes care of lot of things like common security issues and all. Django will take care of that. Okay, that's the reason it is being used in the industry a lot. Okay, most of them would have been heard this Django is an full stack web framework. Okay, it's a framework. Okay, then similar to Django, in the framework part, we have turbo gas, okay, then web 2 pi, tornado. Okay, these are all some full stack frameworks, okay, similar to Django. Full stack framework means some batteries are pre-included, okay, and they have been used with like you will have lot of libraries comes together for working with the database and with other commonly used parameters in the web application. Okay, so that is with the framework. Whereas when we go with the micro framework, most of the time, when we say Python web framework, which are all the frameworks comes into your mind? Can you people drop it in the chat box? Like the frameworks which you know apart from the Django in Python. Any other framework, if you people know, you can drop it. If not, you can say no, not an issue. One more framework, most of them would have been heard that name, like most of the time. Because if you are going through AI, ML and all also, you would have been heard that. And most of the time you will get confused whether you want to learn Django or that another Python framework. Okay, we'll see. So there are different micro frameworks. Okay, one says Fast API, nice. Okay, so that's the recent one which is also becoming so popular. Okay, there are micro frameworks in Python like Bottle. You have Bottle framework. Okay, then you have Cherry Pie. Okay, then the most popular in the micro framework is Flask. Okay, many of the time if you want to create some AML models in the web application and if you want to test means, okay, most of them will be going through Flask, which is a micro framework. Okay, so you don't need to create any backend everything and all. If you want to create some uh, user authentication login system, all those type of things, Django will be preferred. If you want to create a simple web application with some request response, those type of things, then Flask being used. Okay, it's like you cannot compare Flask and the Django in the same way because Flask is for micro framework. Okay, is a micro framework. Then Django is an full stack development. Okay, if you are going with uh, industry or enterprise level applications and all, you can prefer with Django. Okay, with built-in authentication, user module, everything will comes into picture. Whereas the smaller testing part and all, and for the API creations, everything you can go with Flask for a smaller one. Similarly, there is one more which is getting so popular because nowadays the web data is not used only in the web application. It is also being used in smart devices and in the mobile application, desktop applications and all. For this to happen, API plays an important role. Okay, so in the Django also you have REST API. Okay, can be created in the Django, similarly in the Flask also. But to make it so easier with async feature and all, we have Fast API. Okay, Fast API is mainly used for API development. Okay, you don't need to do a lot of stuff by converting the datas into JSON serializer and back to that. Okay, then data validation, everything. Fast API takes care of all those things, and it is also a synchronous one, and which is faster, and it's something like competitions with Node.js and Go, those type of libraries. Okay, they are faster. When you take, if you consider Flask and if you consider Django, they are slow. Okay, but Fast API is faster. So that's one of the advantage. Now when we say full stack web development, most of the time you could have been heard like lamp, vamp, or zamp. Okay, this is Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. With PHP, this is with PHP framework. Okay, L is for Linux, W is for Windows, X is for both cross platform. Okay, so this is a usual one which while learning the basic at the beginning with PHP you will be doing. Okay, basically first Facebook was developed on PHP itself. Then later with JavaScript on the server. First JavaScript was purely on the browser. Later, when it when Node.js and all were being introduced, it became a server-side programming language also. At that time, MERN stack, mean, me1. Okay, so these stacks were being introduced. Here MEN is common. Okay, only R, A, and V have been different. Okay, M is MongoDB, E is Express, N is Node.js, R indicates React, A indicates Angular, V indicates Vue. Okay, so these are all few full stack development which have been famous in the market. Okay, so in these things, if you take nowhere Python has been there. Okay, but the thing is with Django, React is also being used, Angular is being used, Vue is being used. When you take React, Angular, and Vue, they are for the front end. Okay, for the back end Python is being used. You can also use JavaScript for the back end also with the help of Express and Node. Okay, but still Django is being used. In that way, there is one more stack which is a farm stack, which is of Pythons with fast API, then React and MongoDB. Okay, fast API, React, and MongoDB. You can have this farm as FAAM also by using Angular, then FAVM also by using Vue. Then instead of Mongo, you can also use PostgreSQL, Oracle. Okay, then these abbreviations will change. That's it. Okay, so you can choose any platform like React or Angular or Vue depending upon your application, everything. Okay, then in the back end you can go with Python or some other one. Java, it can be C sharp. Okay, or with JavaScript itself. That's of your choice. Okay, so here we are discussing with whether Python is relevant today also. Okay, so that is what we are discussing. In the meantime, most of the applications when we take the web applications, they are content management systems. Okay, when we say content management system, for them the first thing comes into mind is WordPress. Okay, any CMS website. Okay, when if you are creating any website with CMS feature, where you no need to know any programming language things and all. Okay, it is something like the drag and drop, how you create your PPT slides using PowerPoint. Okay, similarly you can create your websites. That is possible with CMS applications. In that, the commonly used one is WordPress, because it's an free and open source one. Okay, and this WordPress is powering 43.2% of all the website. Okay, nearer to half of the websites are powered using WordPress, and in the CMS world, more than 63.4% of the websites are powered using WordPress. Okay, and this WordPress is developed on PHP. But still now, like if we take, in many colleges they have removed the PHP. On the market still WordPress is in the top. Okay, with the share of 43.2% of all the websites, then 63.4% of the CMS website. Okay, but the main thing is like there, that is so popular because you don't need to write any code. You will have the theme, simply you can install it, you can modify it, and you can change it according to your requirement. Okay, it is like a drag and drop. It is like a drag and drop. how you create your PowerPoints by adding the content, everything on those places. Okay, like that you can create the websites. Okay, that is with CMS. That's why WordPress was so popular. Okay, and this is on PHP. Is there any alternative for this in Python? Is the question. Do we have any alternative like this in Python? Where we no need to write the code, we can simply install those modules, then we can create the web applications with drag and drop features or editing, like those type of options. Are there any libraries which you have heard of or used? If you have heard, you can say yes, or if you have not heard, you can say no. We'll proceed further. Is my voice audible? See, people can like no need to type full. You can say Y, or you can use any emojis. Anything is fine. Okay, Y N, like that. Y for yes, N for no, like that. Okay, if you have any questions, you can use a simple question mark. Okay. So we'll see, is there any alternatives in Python? In Python, we have Plone. Okay, Plone is also something like content management system type of framework, okay, which is developed using Python, and this is being used by the NASA, Nokia website, then eBay. Okay, these are some top companies which uses Plone. Okay, Plone is an content management system developed using Python. Okay, similarly we have Wagtail, which is so popular, and it is being used in blog.google. So in the Google's blog, the Wagtail is used. Then YouTube blog part, then flutter.dev application, the Wagtail is used, which is of Python powered CMS website. Twilio.com. Okay, like your true color type of application with automations of messages, all those things. Okay, that application is also developed using Wagtail CMS. Okay, then we have Django CMS. Okay, the Wagtail and Django CMS both are developed on Django. That is, we have Python as an programming language. Django is a Python web framework. On Django, we have Wagtail and Django CMS. That means by using these modules, you don't need to write any code. You can simply use their drag and drop features, and you can create the pages, menus, everything, and you can publish your website. Okay, so that is possible with CMS websites. Okay, that's where WordPress PHP got so popular. Okay, so these are all with Web 1.0 and 2.0. Our next main important question is, now the world is moving towards decentralization. Okay, but at what extent it's going to be uh, created is a question mark itself. Recently, if you have heard, like Amazon, due to the technical issue with the Amazon Web Service, okay, most of the websites have been down because that single company is controlling huge amount of world's website in their cloud platform. Okay, so to make it decentralized and to work with those type of technologies, do we have any Web 3.0 Python libraries? Okay, and is it worth learning? That is the next part. Have you heard anything with respect to Web 3.0 Python libraries? If it is your first time that you are knowing about Web 3.0 means, you can write it as first, or you can drop it as one in the chat. Okay. If you know previously with respect to this Web 2 3.0 means, you can say you know, okay, or you can say two. If you know any particular library with Python on Web 3.0, you can drop that in the chat box. In the meantime, if anyone is having any questions with the previous one, you people can ask. Then we will go through finding the answer for this. If this is the first time you people are hearing about Web 3.0 means, you can type 1 in the chat box. So it's something like it will be an indication that you are attending the session. Okay. And my voice is audible. You're able to listen. If you already know about this Web 3.0, you can type 2 in the chat box. Hello, is my voice audible? Yeah, nice. Yes. Okay, then we will see the result. Okay. So basically, Web 3.0 is developed on a different programming language. Okay. Python is not the core programming language for that. There's a programming language known as Solidity, which is mainly used for smart contracts and all. Okay, but still for the Web 3.0, we have frameworks which can be used for interacting with the Web 3.0 technologies. That is, Web 3.py is a famous web framework in Python which is used in Web 3.0. Okay, when it comes with smart contracts as the basic thing in the Web 3.0. For that, we have Solidity, as we discussed, then Viper, then Rust. Okay, so these are all some commonly used programming language for creating smart contracts. In that, if you take Viper, okay, Viper is an programming language. It's a programming language, but the main important point is its syntax is a valid Python 3 syntax. If you see Viper programming language and Python 3 programming language, the syntax, everything will be same. But the only thing is not all Python 3 functionality is available in Viper. Okay, you can say like Viper is in something, the programming language similar to Python developed for Web 3.0. Okay, then there are other frameworks also like Brownie, then Ape framework, which are being popular with Web 3.0 with Python. Okay, for the Python Web 3.0 technology, if you want to learn through that, then these are the frameworks which have been popular as of now. Okay, if you are planning to go with Web 2.0 technology, then Django, Bottle, Cherry Pie, TurboGear, FastAPI, Flask. Okay, you have n number of modules in that. Okay, depending upon your application, you can choose those modules. So to say, there are many programming languages also with many web frameworks like the Go, uh, JavaScript, okay, then Rust, PHP, .NET. Okay, huge number of programming languages are there and huge number of frameworks are there. Still, Python stands out because of it's easy to read syntax and you can learn the things easily. And main thing, Django is being mainly used in the backend with Python is because you can create the project in the faster way. Okay, that means like if you take some other Flask to create that full stack application, if you take 1 month, the same project you can create in Django within a week. Okay, so that is the difference. Okay, that's why most of the thing them they go with Django. And one more thing is like it's ridiculously fast with development. Then it is tested with security and it is free and open source and there's a huge community which has been built on that. Okay, when you have any queries, if you drop questions on that, someone would have been gone through those issues, you will get the solutions. Okay, and there are huge number of libraries and modules for that Django, like the Wagtail, Django CMS, which we saw. Okay, like those type of modules have been there. So in that word, Django, then Fast API, which has been so popular nowadays with asynchronous feature, everything. Okay, Django is bringing asynchronous feature recently. Okay, then we have the Flask in that, then the bottle cherry pie and all. When it comes with Web 3.0, Web 3.py is the popular one now, and you have Ape framework and the Brownie. Okay, and if you want to learn something, a programming language which is similar, which is being used in the Web 3.0 technology, you have Viper, which is same as Python. That is, the syntax of the Viper is an syntax of Python 3 itself. Okay, but the functionalities will be somewhat different. If you can easily learn, if you know Python, Viper can be easily learned. Okay, so this is with whether Python is unsuitable for present time or not. Okay, so before taking questions, you can note down the attendance link, take the screenshot. You can take the screenshot of this QR code. Later, you people can fill the attendance. Okay, you will have the time to fill the attendance until tomorrow morning. Okay, you can fill the attendance, or you can fill the attendance through the link which has been shared in the chat box. So this session was, most of the things have been with the theory part. If you people are interested to go with the practicality of this on the workshop, you people can let us know in the feedback section or through the mail or the message. We'll plan with that. Okay, whether it is with Django or Fast API or with Web 3.0 technology on that one. So once you have noted down the link or taken the screenshot, you can say yes, so that we can move on to the important part of this webinar, which is of QA. I taken the screenshot. Okay. So any questions? Any questions? Okay. So with that, we'll be ending today's session. If you have any queries, okay, you people can drop it in the Telegram or in the WhatsApp, or you can drop your queries in the feedback form also. Okay, there's an option. We'll get back to you when we share the certificate. Okay, so if there are no questions, we'll wait for a minute. Okay, if no questions have been posted, we'll be ending the session. So thanks everyone for being participating in this session. It's a theory one. We are not gone through any hands-on with this. Okay. So depending upon your feedback, we'll plan with the hands-on on particular framework or with the technology. Okay. Thank you everyone.